very good morning and Jai Hind children. Welcome to biology class. Children, yesterday we have completed till short answer question type 1. We have done the explanation till short answer question type 1. Now short answer question type 2, long answer question and HOTS are left to be explained. So I'll explain you one by one each question answer so that it becomes easier for you to understand and learn. Children, please do complete your work in your fair notebook, because if you will not complete it, you will not be able to learn on time. Alright, so I hope now everybody is ready with their science book, fair notebook, biology fair notebook, rough notebook, pen and pencil, whatever you need. Alright, so now let's start with the explanation of rest of the question that were left. So children, please be ready with your pencil, pen and your fair notebook. Those who have not done it, you can do it with me. Alright. So you have that much enough time कि आप उतनी देर में लिख सकते हैं. ठीक है? Now, so these are the question answers, short answer question type 2. So let's start with it. So children, we have done till short answer question type 1. We have completed all these answers. Now starting with short answer question type 2. Question number 1. This we have discussed, but again I am starting it from here. So question number 1 is list 4 ways in which forests are useful to us. So we have to tell what are the 4 different ways in which forests are useful. Though there are many useful things from the forest that we get, but we have to mention only 4 ways. So here are the 4 ways that we get some valuable products from forest like timber, wood pulp, latex for making furniture, for paper production. So all these things we get it from plants or forest. Okay. They protect wildlife, since wildlife depend on forest for food and shelter. Definitely they protect the wildlife there, क्योंकि जो पेड़ होते हैं वहाँ पे जो forest होते हैं वही उनका habitat होते हैं. The habitat of wildlife are forest. So they live there, survive there, they have a shelter there and they nurture there. Alright, so this is the second way or the second use of forest. Then we have this maintenance of balance between carbon dioxide and oxygen in the atmosphere. Definitely children, the plant, we know that it consumes carbon dioxide, alright, and it releases oxygen. So by releasing the oxygen and by consuming the carbon dioxide, it maintains the balance between the both. Alright, if we know that if there is the population is drastically increasing and hence the carbon dioxide amount is also increasing. So if there will be increase in the carbon dioxide in atmosphere, so what will happen? There will be a sudden rise in the temperature of the earth. Alright, and hence it will cause a global warming. So to maintain the amount of or the percentage of carbon dioxide in atmosphere, it is very necessary to have a forest, alright, to have a plants. They regulate the temperature of the earth. Similarly, in the same way, carbon dioxide को accept करके they maintain the temperature of the earth. क्योंकि वो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड को एक्सेप्ट कर लेते हैं, तो जितना टेम्परेचर, जितना अमाउंट ऑफ कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड रिलीज हो रहा है एटमॉस्फेयर में, वो कंज्यूम हो जाता है. Alright, so these are few useful ways of forest. Now moving ahead with question number 2. List 3 main causes of deforestation. So what are the 3 main causes of deforestation? So 3 main causes of deforestation are: number 1, to build homes, factories, roads and dams. So definitely to build home, see, the main reason is increase in population. So as the population is increasing, the demand for things is also increasing, like people need shelter and home to live. Alright, and to construct a house or home, you require a land. Alright, and this land around. Alright, so maximum of the land is covered by forest. So to get a land to construct a house, we require land, and that land they get it from the forest. Alright, and hence they clear the forest. Are you getting it? So this home, to build a home they require land, and hence they are cutting the forest, cutting the trees, that is deforestation. Similarly for factories, roads and dams. So for constructing a factory, see, the main reason of whenever a industry is being set up, whenever a factory is being set up, they require a permission from the government. Alright, and the first जो एक पहला point होता है, जो पहला restriction point होता है for constructing a industry or factory is it should not be in a posh area. Posh area means where there is a colony of people, जहाँ पे लोगों का घर है, जहाँ पे market है, वहाँ पे फैक्ट्री या इंडस्ट्री नहीं होनी चाहिए. ये सबसे पहला रूल होता है. ठीक है, तो अब जो भी फैक्ट्री या इंडस्ट्री को कंस्ट्रक्ट कर रहे हैं उनको एक आउटर एरिया चाहिए, नहीं मतलब सिटी से बाहर की एरिया चाहिए. एंड वी नो दैट द सिटी इज डेवलप्ड बट the outer area of the city, take for example Banaras. The outer area of Banaras, we know that it is highly covered with trees and everything. So again, to construct a factory or to construct an industry, they need to clear the land first. Alright, so that is why they are clearing the land, they are cutting the trees and they are building the factories and industries. Alright, same goes with roads and dams. So to travel from one place to another, we require roads. Alright, and roads, like you know that nowadays because of a development, metros are being constructed. So metro भी जो बन रही है उसके लिए भी हमें पूरी एक line चाहिए for a metro to travel. So again for that there is a heavy construction going on, and for that we require to clear off the trees. So again for every damn thing, everything that is during construction that is taking place, we require a land, and hence the forest or trees is being cut. So this is the reason. Next we have for farming, as more food is needed to feed the growing population. So again, as the population is increasing, we require a much and larger agriculture sector. Alright, and that agriculture sector for food, for everything we require them. Okay, so for farming and for increasing their agriculture sector, increasing their agriculture area, again they are cutting the trees. For mining of minerals such as coal, petroleum and other ores. Children, what is mining? Mining is a process of extracting the minerals from within the earth. Okay, earth में एक मतलब ये जो land है उसमें digging करके underneath जाके, अंदर की तरफ जाके वहाँ से हम क्या निकालते हैं? वहाँ से हम coal या petroleum निकालते हैं. This we have studied in chemistry. Alright, so I think you know what is mining and what is the procedure. So again this procedure also requires a land area, and again that mining के लिए जो भी हम pit create कर रहे हैं उसके लिए भी हमें जगह चाहिए, and again trees are being cut, and again the mining process is done. So this is again a very cause of deforestation. So these three are the causes of deforestation basically. So this is important, children, so you should learn it. Alright, so first we have to build home, factories and road and dams, then we have for farming, and then for mining. So for these three basic purpose, और इन सब का होल सोल रीजन है ग्रोथ इन पॉपुलेशन. सबका, चाहे आप ये देख लो, चाहे ये देख लो, चाहे ये देख लो, सबका एक ही रीजन है, वो है पॉपुलेशन. ओके, नाउ मूविंग अहेड विद क्वेश्चन नंबर 3. Deforestation can lead to desertification. How? So this top point, I think it is clear to you, but again I am explaining it to you. So deforestation means cutting down of trees, correct? So when we are cutting the trees, we are cutting the trees from their root. Getting my point? So when we are taking the tree or a plant from the root, then what will happen? That portion of that area of soil will become loose. Okay? And when they will become loose, because of the heavy rainfall or because of the heavy wind, what will happen? That soil will get eroded, and hence the fertile layer will be removed off. So as the fertile layer of soil is removed off, we cannot again grow the plant or tree in that area. Okay, and hence slowly and gradually what happens, that area becomes desert. Okay, so let's see what is written. Deforestation causes an increase in soil erosion, correct? As the topsoil gets eroded, the lower hard and rocky soil with less humus gets exposed. That is, it is less fertile. That I have told you. The fertile layer will be removed off and we will be left with less fertile area. Over time, continued soil erosion can convert the land into a desert. This is called desertification. So I hope it is clear now. Moving to question number 4. What effect can deforestation have on groundwater? Give reason. So again, the same thing. Deforestation हुआ, soil erosion हुआ. So are you able to connect it? Deforestation causes soil erosion. Alright. So now if the fertile soil is being removed from that place, then what will happen? The capacity of a soil to absorb water will also decrease. जब वहाँ पे soil ही नहीं है तो पानी को absorb कौन करेगा? Okay, so if there is no soil, there will be no absorption of water, and hence the water table will not be maintained, and the water will starts to accumulate at places. Are you getting it? Soil है, soil क्या करता है? पानी को absorb करता है. अब जब soil नहीं है और rain तो हो ही रहा है, तो वो क्या होगा? एक जगह पानी जाके collect हो जाएगा, and that will create a problem like वहाँ पे बहुत सारे microbes, mosquitoes, flies वहाँ पे सब develop हो जाएंगे, and hence they will cause various diseases like malaria, typhoid and everything. Okay, so let's see what is written. Deforestation causes reduction in groundwater due to decrease in water absorption capacity of the soil. So due to decreased water absorption capacity of soil, the groundwater will not be maintained and the flood can occur or accumulation of water can occur. So this is the reason. Okay. Moving ahead with question number 5. I hope these answers are getting clear to you. Now moving ahead with question number 5. What do you mean by planned harvesting of forest? How does it help in their conservation? So what is planned harvesting? Planned तरीके से harvesting करना. अब planned तरीका क्या है? Planned way is to cut some trees and leave behind the rest of the trees. Consider हमने 10 पेड़ को काटा और बाकी सारे पेड़ों को छोड़ दिया, तो क्या होगा कि soil erosion उतनी speed से नहीं होगा, उतनी drastically नहीं होगा. Alright, so the some tree will be like हमने कुछ tree को काट दिया, कुछ वैसे के वैसे हैं, तो जो the trees they are which are present there will hold the soil, and hence soil erosion will not take place. Okay, so this is the reason, which is like these are the things that we should do it, that is planned harvesting. So let's see what is written. Planned harvesting of forest is the cutting of some of the trees in the forest. The uncut trees prevent erosion and produce seeds so that new trees can grow. In this way it helps in conservation. So the same thing, कि हम कुछ पेड़ काटे, बाकी पेड़ छोड़ दिए, जो पेड़ को हमने छोड़ा वो इरोजन में हेल्प करेगा, मतलब प्रिवेंट करेगा इरोजन को, और नए सीड्स को डेवलप करेगा, एंड हेंस न्यू ट्रीज कैन बी ग्रोन एंड वी कैन कंजर्व द एरिया. ओके, so this is plant harvesting. Now question number 6. In what ways are wildlife conservation and forest conservation related? So I have told you previously when we were discussing the very short answer question. So then also I have told you that the habitat of wildlife are forest. Consider ये जहाँ पे हम लोग जिस घर में रह रहे हैं ये हमारा घर है, ठीक. अगर इस घर, और हम घर में रह रहे हैं, अगर इस घर को कोई चारों तरफ से प्रोटेक्ट कर रहा है, कंसिडर वी आर एट डेंजर, हम लोग क्या है, डेंजर पे है, हमारे ऊपर कोई अटैक होने वाला है. सो कंसिडर द पुलिस फोर्स इज प्रोटेक्टिंग आवर हाउस. ऑलराइट, सो इफ पुलिस फोर्स इज प्रोटेक्टिंग आवर हाउस and similarly we are also getting protected. Are you getting my point? अगर हमारे घर को प्रोटेक्ट किया जा रहा है और हम लोग घर में रह रहे हैं तो हम लोग भी तो प्रोटेक्ट हो रहे हैं, isn't it? So same is the way कि अगर हम फॉरेस्ट को कंजर्व कर रहे हैं तो we are also conserving the wildlife, because wildlife is like forest is the home of wildlife. Okay, so that is why they both are interrelated. So let's see what is written. Wildlife conservation is very closely related to forest conservation. When the forest is destroyed, a large number of animals become extinct or endangered. So to conserve the habitat of endangered animal, it is necessary to protect the forest. Basically, they are trying to say that कि अगर हम फॉरेस्ट को प्रोटेक्ट कर रहे हैं सो वी आर प्रोटेक्टिंग द वाइल्ड लाइफ. अगर फॉरेस्ट को हम नहीं प्रोटेक्ट कर पाएंगे तो वाइल्ड लाइफ विल बिकम एक्सटिंक्ट, दे विल डाई एंड दे विल बिकम एंडेंजर्ड. ऑलराइट, सो कंजर्विंग द फॉरेस्ट मीन्स कंजर्विंग द वाइल्ड लाइफ. So hence these wildlife conservation and forest conservation are related with each other. Okay. Very important question of this chapter, that is, what is difference between a wildlife sanctuary and a biosphere reserve? What is the difference between two? Let's see. Wildlife sanctuaries are the protected forest to preserve wildlife, providing protection and suitable living condition for wild animals, whereas a biosphere reserve is a large protected area set aside for conservation of wildlife, plants and animal resources and the traditional life of a tribal living in the area. Biosphere reserve is a broader term than wildlife sanctuary. A biosphere reserve may have national park and wildlife sanctuary within it. So again I am explaining this to you. What is wildlife sanctuary and biosphere reserve? Wildlife sanctuary में सिर्फ हम एक फॉरेस्ट का प्रोटेक्टेड एरिया होता है जहां पे हम वाइल्ड लाइफ को प्रोटेक्ट करते हैं और उनको सुटेबल कंडीशन देते हैं, एंड डिफरेंट ह्यूमन एक्टिविटीज आर स्ट्रिक्टली प्रोहिबिटेड इन वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरीज. ओके, these human activities like hunting, traveling, everything is strictly prohibited in wildlife sanctuaries. Whereas if we are talking about biosphere reserves, so biosphere reserves are a very large area, alright, and in that area we are conserving the animals and plants definitely, but we are also conserving the tribal people living there. Okay, we are also conserving their lifestyle. Okay, so and we know that a biosphere reserve is a very broad area which can include a wildlife sanctuary and a national park within it. Okay, so this is a biosphere reserve that we were talking about. So biosphere reserve बहुत बड़ा होता है, wildlife sanctuary छोटा होता है. Biosphere reserve में हम animal, plants और microbes के साथ साथ ट्राइबल्स को भी प्रोटेक्ट करते हैं, पर वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरी में हम सिर्फ वाइल्ड लाइफ को प्रोटेक्ट करते हैं और उनको सुटेबल इन्वायरमेंट suitable living condition provide कराते हैं. Got it? So this is wildlife sanctuary. So this we have discussed short answer question type 2. Okay. Now moving ahead with the long answer questions. So question number 1 long answer question is discuss 5 methods of forest conservation. So this is there in your book also. So first is plant harvesting, we have discussed. Afforestation or reforestation. What is afforestation and reforestation? It is again planting the seeds or again planting the plants in the specific area is called afforestation or reforestation, which means renewing a forest by planting seedling or small trees of the same species as found in the forest. So it is called reforestation or afforestation. Protection from forest fire. Okay, so how we can do this? By spraying a fire extinguisher solution from aircrafts. Okay, then we have protection from insects and pests by spraying insecticides and fungicides. Protection for overgrazing of cattle. So cattle should not be allowed to go so much. So to protect plants by providing a pastures which can be used for by rotation. Okay. So these are the 5 different methods by which we can protect the forest. Okay. Now what are the consequences of deforestation? So earlier we have talked about the causes of deforestation. Now we have the consequences of deforestation. So we know that the consequences, the first very important consequence of deforestation is desertification. So again trees are cut, soil erosion will occur, the fertile soil will remove off, and the hard soil that is left will slowly and gradually convert into desert. Okay, so this is called desertification. Then deforestation also leads to global warming. What is global warming? Again, with increase in population, the amount of carbon dioxide is increasing, and if the carbon dioxide is increasing and there is no one to accept the carbon dioxide, so what will happen? The carbon dioxide will be present in the atmosphere and hence it will increase the temperature of the earth and will cause a global warming. What is global warming? Globe means earth, warming means गर्म होना. अगर अर्थ गर्म हो रहा है तो it is called global warming. Okay. Next we have it causes reduction in groundwater. Why it causes reduction in groundwater? This also we have discussed above in the previous short answer question type 2. Because of the decrease in water absorption capacity of soil. Okay. So this also we have discussed. Now question 3. This is the last question. So discuss the steps necessary for wildlife conservation. What are the steps required? So first is habitat preservation. सबसे पहले तो हमें habitat को preserve करना है, जहाँ पे वो रह रहे हैं उनको preserve करना है. Hunting regulation like poaching is illegal, so government should take a strict action towards it. Then protected area हमें बनाना चाहिए, that is wildlife sanctuary, biosphere reserves and national park. Then national parks and wildlife sanctuaries. So area should be protected, the habitat should be protected, and these hunting regulations should be made more strict, and this human activity should be completely banned there. Alright, so these are the necessary steps that we can take to conserve wildlife. Now moving ahead with the last section of this chapter, that is HOTS question. So they are a bit interesting. Let's see. Question number 1. To conserve forest, we should ban cutting down of trees completely. Do you agree? Yes, children. Is it practically possible to completely ban the cutting of trees? Now suppose if the cutting of of trees is completely banned, what will happen? Will we get a paper to write? Will we get a wood? Will we get any furniture? No, we are not going to get all these things. Okay, so I am not saying that deforestation is good, but we can have a planned harvesting rather than cutting down a trees drastically and randomly so many trees are being cut. We can go for a planned harvesting. Alright, cut some trees, let other trees do their work. Alright, so we can go for a planned harvesting. Let's see what is written. Banning the cutting down of trees completely is not practical, as we need wood for several purposes. Planned harvesting of trees so that we can get our requirements without reducing the forest cover is a practical method. Alright, so this is the good way that we can perform. Now question 2. Animals are protected in a zoo, that is zoological gardens also. What is the difference between zoo and a wildlife sanctuary? Where do you think animals will be happier? Yes. So I hope many of you have visited a zoo. Many of you have seen the animals there. So let's see what is the answer. In a zoo, wild animals are kept in an artificial habitat for public viewing. Isn't it? Yes, definitely. वहाँ पे जो भी एनिमल्स रह रहे हैं उनको एक आर्टिफिशियल यानी कि जो ह्यूमंस एक एरिया बनाते हैं, जो ह्यूमंस कंस्ट्रक्शन करते हैं उस जगह पे रखा जाता है. ठीक है, इट इज नॉट देयर नेचुरल हैबिटेट, इट इज एन आर्टिफिशियल और अ ह्यूमन मेड हैबिटेट फॉर देम. ओके, इन अ वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरीज एनिमल्स आर अलाउड टू लिव इन देयर natural habitat without the fear of being hunted. Very correct. So now you can tell me at which place they will be more happier. I think in wildlife sanctuary they will be more happier. Why? Because उनको अपना घर मिल रहा है, वहाँ पे उनको हंटिंग की कोई चिंता नहीं है, सारे वहाँ पे वो नर्चर भी कर रहे हैं, वो सर्वाइव भी कर रहे हैं, उनको शेल्टर भी मिल रहा है. जू में क्या होता है कि दे आर कंटिन्यूसली बीइंग टॉर्चर्ड बाय, अगर आप कंसिडर आपको एक पिंजरे में बंद कर दिया जाए एंड यू पीपल कम एंड सी यू, बट इन दैट पिंजरा एंड एवरीथिंग यू आर गिवन एवरीथिंग. आपको खाना मिल रहा है, आपको सारी लेविशिंग लाइफ मिल रही है, सब मिल रहा है, बट विल यू बी एबल टू सर्वाइव फॉर लॉन्गर? विल यू विल बी हैप्पियर देयर? नो. इंस्टेड आपको घर में रखा जा रहा है, आप अपने घर में हो, आपको वहाँ पे प्रोटेक्शन मिल रहा है, आप खुद खाना बना के खुद भी खा रहे हो, तो भी आप अपने घर में हो. Alright, so that will give you more comfort rather than living in a lavishing life and but getting tortured all the time. Okay, so I think you got my point. So zoo is not a happier place for animal, rather wildlife sanctuary is a happier place for animal to survive and live. So we are left with two answers. So children, please go through these two answers. Okay, let's see. So we are running short of time actually. So please go through these two answers. Okay, and do complete your work in the fair notebook, in the biology fair notebook. Okay, so we have completed this chapter. We have discussed each and every question of this chapter. Hope you will be able to learn it. And children, from the next class we are going to revise the previous chapters. So in biology we will be starting with the crop production, alright, and in chemistry we will start with the synthetic fiber. So please get ready, and before coming to the class from the next week, please revise these chapters so that it becomes easier for you to understand. Okay, because I will not explain you each and everything. I'll just go very quick. Okay, because you have already done that chapter. So that's all for today's class, children. So please go through the homework that I gave you. Please do complete this work in your fair notebook. Alright, so that's all for today. Thank you and Jai Hind children.